Okay girlies, so let's just start. I do apologize for my voice today. I'm not sure if it's allergies or if I have a cold, but I'm feeling very congested and blocked up, so I need to sneeze. Oh, hopefully I can get through this video. So let's just jump straight into it. So they sent me 6 shades because obviously they're not sure what my shade is. So I'm going to show you all 6, but I think my shade is this one called Chestnut. So this is the packaging. As you can see, it comes in a gorgeous box with their butterfly, and you pull it out like this and you have the foundation inside. Now this is a very unique foundation packaging. Of course, I've never seen foundation in a, you know, what is this called, like a ball basically, and it is rose gold as well. So it is called the Ultra Definition Cream Foundation. When I was opening these, because I did open it on Instagram story, I found that it was very messy when I opened it. So when I open it up, this is how it looks. You can see the foundation is all around the cap, and this happened with nearly all of them. So it is very messy to open, but what can you do? So I think this is my shade. This is the shade Chestnut. Of course, I have color corrected, guys. If you're wondering why I look crazy, I have got color correction on my face. This cold is beating me right now, guys. I just feel like giving up. So that was the color Chestnut, and now I'm showing you the color Toffee. This is in no particular order. I'm just picking up the shades as I go. So this one doesn't have as much mess as the last one, but when you open it up, you have to be very careful. So this is the shade Toffee, and this is the shade Cocoa. So this is a darker, deeper shade. Sorry, they do have descriptions next to it, guys. So the shade Cocoa is described as extra dark. The shade Toffee is called Cool Medium Dark, and the shade Chestnut is just dark. So then we have Pecan, which is medium dark. So Pecan looks like this, quite a light shade. Then we have Hazelnut, which is described as a dark medium. So this is how Hazelnut looks like. And then last but not least, we have the shade Chocolate, which is described as a cool dark. And this is the shade Chocolate. So as you can see, these aren't very liquidy. They're very mousse-like. They don't drop. They actually remind me of the Revlon Whipped foundation. Okay, so the shades I've kept here to try is Hazelnut, Chestnut, and Toffee. One of them should work for me, or a mix of them should work for me. So I'm gonna use Hazelnut first and see how it goes. Oh, that is very light, very, very light. Hazelnut is a no-no, no. Okay, so I think my first choice was right. That is Chestnut. Chestnut, I think, will work perfectly for me. Let's take one swipe of Chestnut. What is that? That's grey. That looks grey. I'm not even playing with you. Is that not grey? Okay, I'm just gonna try blending what I've got on my face so far. Let's start with this side. Okay, so when it blends out, it's not as grey as it applies. So this is actually my shade. This is the shade Chestnut. I knew Chestnut would be my shade. So I'm gonna take this one off. First of all, it applies very nicely. Like, there's no streaks or patches on my face. It looks quite nice. Okay, so now that that is applied, it looks very, very full coverage. It does look very skin-like. It's not overly dewy, and it's not matte. It's definitely very skin-like. It looks great. I'm just gonna let it settle into my skin a bit longer, and then we can come back with the final verdict. I really like how it looks, actually. Looking up close, it looks really nice. It doesn't look patchy. It's not clinging to any dry I don't have many dry spots, but it's not clinging to any dry skin. It looks very healthy, very, not glowy, but skin-like. I'm really impressed with how it looks so far. I would say it doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation. Like, my face doesn't feel tight or like cakey. It feels really lightweight and nice. Like, I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation, but it feels like it's drying down to a very, not tacky, but when I put my brush over it, it feels tacky. So I'm feeling like it's drying down. So yeah, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup now, and then I will come back to show you how we are looking once I'm done, and then I will come back throughout the day. It is really early right now. It's like, okay, it's 10:15 in the morning, so I will I will come back throughout the day and give you my thoughts on how it's looking and if it's a thumbs up or not. Okay girlies, and I'm back. So this is how it is looking. It is now 10 to 5, so it's been roughly about 4.5 hours now that I've had this foundation on, and as you can see, I still look flawless, if I say so myself. I am a very oily person in my T-zone and on my cheeks, so I get oily here, here, and here. and sometimes on my chin. But overall, for 4.5 hours, it is looking really, really good. Usually I would have to powder by now, but just looking at this, if I was out and I saw this in the mirror, I wouldn't powder because it's not excessive oil. I like when the oil looks like this, it kind of gives like a luminous glow to the skin. So I really like how it's looking. The coverage is still 100. As you can see, my beauty mark is still covered. All my scars are covered. I've had a hairstyle change, clearly, but my makeup still looks flawless. So I definitely am loving this foundation so far. It's not matte anymore. Okay, let me tell you what happened. So right after I got off the camera, it dried down even further. It did get really, really matte. Not really, really matte, but it got matte enough that I could touch my face and there was no transfer. I looked really matte, and the only dew on my skin was my highlight, of course. But now, as it's wearing off, about 4.5 hours, like I said already, it looks really nice and healthy. My pores are not, usually when I get oily in this area, my pores will be like bing, but I'm a tiny bit oily, like I would say maybe 5% oily, and I cannot see my pores. Literally, it looks very flawless. I'm very happy with this foundation. I'm very happy with this foundation so far. Of course, it is only 4.5 hours in. I will try and keep this on for another hour or so, but I really don't like wearing makeup for too long. Like right now, I'm starting to feel it. Plus, it's hot today in London. It's like 20-something degrees. For once, we're getting a bit of heat, so I'm starting to feel like, you know. But I'm gonna try and keep it on for 1 more hour for you girlies to show you how it looks after maybe 6 hours of wear. So this is it close up. I think you can tell it is the slightest bit oily, slightest, but I wouldn't really class this as oily. I would kind of class it as dewy, you know. It's a nice healthy glow to the skin, but it's not super oily. Like right here, I usually get tons of oil, but it's, you know, it's doing really well. It's holding up really well. It's not separating, it's not getting patchy, it's not fading. I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy, guys. Okay, and I'm back. So this is how it is looking. It is now 5 o'clock. So it's been an hour and a half since my last update. I'm tired. I want to take it off. I want to go sit, chill, watch Netflix, eat some snacks, and just be able to touch my face. You know, that feeling I've had this makeup on since, you know, 10 o'clock this morning. I'm done. I also really like how my lipstick has lasted. It's been on since I started my makeup this morning, and it hasn't faded. It hasn't gone. It is Makeup Revolution Iconic Matte Lipstick in the shade Inclination. Absolutely love this lipstick. I didn't know it was so long wearing. But anyways, the foundation. I have not gotten oily since my last check-in. As far as I can remember, I believe it looked just like this, but overall this hasn't gotten super oily like the Iconic foundation that got oily kind of everywhere, and you can tell it was very greasy or oily. And then I set it with the powder, it was perfectly new. This one I still would not need to set with a powder. I love the way it looks, very skin-like. It looks very flawless. I would not be surprised if this went past the 8-hour mark looking, you know, flawless still, without blotting, without touching up. But of course, if you did take a bit of translucent powder and set what you wanted to set, I'm just going to show you what happens. So I'm just going to take some of my Makeup Revolution banana powder. I'm just going to dab it on the places that are a tiny bit oily, just to show you what happens. So just taking a dab of powder, setting the rest of my face, I am basically back to how I looked, you know, 5.5 hours ago. Literally, when I first sat down and finished my face, I look exactly the same. Like, I love this foundation. I definitely will be using this foundation a lot more. I definitely think it's worth the price, and I definitely recommend it. But anyways, I'm about to go, girly, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, then please thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.